You ever walk into a place and just know you're not supposed to be the punchline, but somehow you are? That's the thing about money and power in America. It's invisible until it's not. You know what I mean? So let me tell you about the Thursday in Dallas when a $3.8 billion deal died in the lobby, not the boardroom, all because someone behind a marble counter thought they could size me up with a glance. The sun was low, but the air was still warm, and I was rolling my luggage behind me into the Lexington Tower. Yeah, one of those hotels where the glass shines so bright you wonder if the staff cleans it with hope and lemon polish. I was wearing my Navy suit, no tie, just enough to look like I meant business, but not enough to look like I'd sell you a yacht. The moment I walked in, people stared the way you stare at a dent in a new car, curious, a little suspicious, but try not to let it show. There's always that whisper you can't quite hear, but you know is about you. Happens more often than you'd think, and always lands right beneath the skin. The clerk at the desk, Megan, barely out of college, name tag shiny as her ponytailed and even tried to hide her boredom. She asked for my card and ID, not rude, just routine. I handed her my Centurion card. You know, the one solid metal, no limit, not the kind you get in the mail. She took it, looked down, then let out a laugh she tried to smother, but couldn't. Oh wow, you carrying one of these around? Like I just handed her a chocolate coin. That's when the plaid shirt guy in the lobby snorted. Not even subtle about it. I waited. Been here before, maybe not this lobby, but this exact moment so many times. I asked her if there was a problem, calm as Sunday morning, but she just shrugged, and instead, I took out my phone and called my COO. Cancel the room block, call Raymond, merger's off. The words landed like a rock in still water, ripples going everywhere. She stared at me, not quite getting it. I just rolled my bag out as smooth as I'd rolled it in. Thing is, the story could have ended right there, gone. Her confused, Dallas just another city with just another lobby. But the real storm was still out on the horizon, and it was about to come in fast. Kelsey, the assistant manager, had been watching from the shadows, caught the whole exchange, but didn't move quick enough. When she finally got to the desk, Megan shrugged it off, just some guy with a fake card, probably trying to scam a place. Kelsey pulled up the guest profile, me name, my company, my net worth right there in platinum letters. The kind of profile hotels train staff to spot and treat like royalty. Kelsey's face went white. That was the VIP, the one responsible for the Bentley merger. You just lost us $30 million in contracts. Megan blinked, finally catching up, but it was too late. The match had already hit the gasoline. Meanwhile, upstairs, 3 Bentley Group execs were chilling in the penthouse, probably thinking the next morning was just paperwork and handshakes. When Kelsey broke the news, you could feel the panic through the walls. Howard, Trina, dev names you don't know, but stock markets, sure. Hey, heard, deals off, and their faces fell apart. Trina asked if it was a race thing. Kelsey didn't answer because she didn't have to. Sometimes silence is louder than any answer. Back in the lobby, a bellhop named Andre, who'd seen it all from the sidelines, leaned over to Megan and whispered, "That wasn't a tantrum. That was a man sending a message." She looked away, but you could see the first cracks of doubt start to spread. I didn't go far, just across the street to a boutique hotel where the only thing fancy was the respect at the front desk. No fuss, no flowers, just a clean room and someone saying, "Good evening, mister. Call train." I sat on the bed, holding the black card in my hand, feeling the weight of it, not just the metal, but everything that comes with it. My phone buzzed. Raymond, my COO, wanted to know if he should come by. "No, just handling numbers. I'm done talking." Camille, my sister, texted from Tulsa, "You good?" I thought about telling her how no amount of money or awards ever really erases that question mark they put after your name. Instead, I just texted back, just tired. You see, Megan at the desk wasn't the first to look at me like I was borrowing someone else's suit. I'd felt it in classrooms, airports, even boardrooms where I was the one signing checks, not fetching coffee. Years back, a professor asked me who was paying my tuition, not how I was doing. And now, decades and $1 billion later, I still got the same test, just with higher stakes. There was a knock on my door. Room service, 2 bottles of water and a fruit plate. The boy who brought it, Jaden, said, "My dad talks about your company all the time. Says you built something nobody else could." I nodded, told him to thank his dad. Sometimes it's the little reminders that keep you moving forward. Next morning, Lexington's boardroom was a graveyard of empty chairs, untouched coffee, nameplates waiting for names that wouldn't come. The execs got the message from my legal team. We are withdrawing from the Bentley merger. The matter is closed. Trina said, he doesn't owe us anything. Dev, looking pale, replied, the fallout's going to be brutal. And that's the thing, some people measure power in volume. But I've always believed in the power of walking away. At the Bishop House, Raymond asked if I was sure about going public. Let them spin it, I said. The silence is saying plenty. An hour later, social media was on fire. Someone leaked the story, receipts and all. A black CEO was laughed at while using his own card. The next morning, he killed a $3.8 billion deal. Millions saw it. And suddenly it wasn't just my story, it was a mirror for everybody who's ever been sized up and shut down for the way they look. Megan sat in the HR office, face pale as the conference room walls. I didn't think, she started. That's right, her boss said. You didn't think. And now the deal is gone. The bellhop Andre wrote a post that went viral. I never saw a man walk away so quietly and leave more noise behind. Suddenly, the internet was full of people sharing stories about being dismissed, followed, disrespected, not just in hotels, but everywhere. That evening, I watched the coverage from my roomie name scrolling under headlines about billionaire CEO cancels deal after racial profiling. I muted the TV, opened my laptop, started typing a statement not for the media, but for real people. I was done letting others narrate my story. Saturday morning, I stood in a quiet community, Centerno cameras, no suits, just me and a handful of students and interns. I told them, power isn't shouting. Power is knowing who you are and knowing when to walk out. If someone laughs at your presence, they'll never respect your partnership. If you stay silent, disrespect only gets louder. Remember, you are the table. If they can't see that, you don't owe them a seat. A young woman in a yellow hoodie told me her dad said, I walked away like a king. I told her, your dad raised someone brave. That's what sticks with me. It's not about revenge or headlines, it's about holding up a mirror to the system and refusing to apologize for your own reflection. Sometimes the strongest thing you can do is let the world feel the silence you leave behind. So let me ask you, when is it right to walk away, and when does silence speak louder than any words? Drop your thoughts below, because somebody out there needs to know they're not alone at that counter, holding a card nobody thinks they deserve.